Matchmaking is a tough business. It's a tough business because people have a lot of entitlement and people have a lot of things they're expecting from a matchmaking company. And men typically don't do it unless you're at a very elite level, but a lot of women do it. And the reason why is because women tend to be a lot more picky. So in comes the business of what you would consider female dating coaches or matchmakers. And depending on a specific city in the United States of America, it's big business. Los Angeles, New York City, but if you're black, Atlanta is the place to be. Number one, you can charge premium prices and high prices for your services because you have a lot of professional women out there who are looking for these unicorn black men who may or may not exist, and they should, in theory, have access to these guys so that you can be matched with them. But then the problem is that these female dating coaches get stressed out. That was the case with April Mason, and then she quit dating. But then there's another lady out there who's quite popular by the name of Rebecca Lynn Pope. She also stopped matchmaking when she made this statement about 5 to 6 years ago. Play that clip.
Hello, this is Rebecca Lynn Pope coming on real quick. You guys know that I have been swamped lately, but I promised I would come on and just share my viewpoints on why women are just, many women, I'm not going to say all women, but many women are very, very unrealistic about their standards for men, dating, and marriage. So I'm going to give my opinion on this. And now listen, girls, I'm about to be very raw. I'm about to be very real. I'm about to just shoot it to you as just straight as I can because I'm hoping that this helps somebody. Because as you girls know, I'm a matchmaker. And for a large part of the end of last year and the beginning of this year, I stopped matchmaking. And the reason I stopped matchmaking is because I literally was I can't handle female clients. I was a matchmaker that matched females, and I had a few male clients, but predominantly I was matching women. And listen, it was such a valuable lesson for me because what I learned is that the average woman doesn't really want just a good man. She doesn't want a husband. What she's really wanting are these standards or ideas that she has of what a man is supposed to be. But this is nothing what men are. This is not realistic for who men are, how they think, what they value. It's just this preconceived, idea that women have of who men should be. But this is not reality, okay? So literally, the standards here that I see consistently in women that stay single, do not get married, and the difference between women and wives is understanding, one, that men are not women. He's not going to be your best friend like your best girlfriend. You can't talk to him like that. They don't talk like that. They don't talk that much. They're not so sensitive and girly the way we are as women.
So I want to be very clear. When Rebecca Lynn Pope is talking about women, we must assume she's talking about black women. It is highly unlikely that a Caucasian woman or an Asian woman, unless she's seeking for black men, would pay a black dating coach or a black matchmaker in Atlanta, Georgia, where the population is very concentrated with blacks or African American people. So when she's saying men, she's talking about, or women rather, she's talking about black women. But again, when Rebecca Lynn Pope made this statement, that was some time back, and it seems that, at the point she was attacking that female fan base that she was sick and tired of. But I guess she got broke because now she's singing a different tune. And now she wants to go ahead on and tell those ladies that, hey, you know what? It's not your fault. You need to go ahead and go to white men. And this change of talking point, it's like night and day. It's kind of like Candace Owens, who was a hardcore Democrat, becoming a Republican in like 3 or 4 years. This bait and switch strategy is one of the best that I've ever seen. But I want you to see how she tried to come for black men and failed immediately. Let's get into the video. Now, this video is called Aunties Advise Black Women Who Want to Be Married. Now, it's very interesting. All of these female dating coaches who say they're entrepreneurs, All these people are hella dusty. None of them reinvest into anything. They're always having these dusty ass videos in a car for the last few years. They never spend any money in the business, yet they're entrepreneurs. I just don't get people like this who are always talking about how they're making these millions when they're terrible at what they're doing. Like, there is no investment. Yeah, I'm talking about you, Boyce Watkins. Like, you guys are clowns when you say that you're entrepreneurs. You're dustypreneurs. But let's continue.
I have gotten in trouble before for saying black women who want to exclusively marry black men. We are in the middle of a crisis. Black men are in crisis. And anybody who denies that black men are in crisis is ignoring the data, the science, the research, the statistics. It is not a figment of your imagination that there are not enough eligible black men to marry. You are not imagining that. It is real. By the time, and like I said, I'm going to take my time with this. By the time you take that black people are only 11% of the population, black men being half of that 11%.
Like, this is how innumerate you are, right? You're saying there are not enough eligible black men. Blacks are 11% of the population. Black men are half. So if black men are half of the population and black women are half of the population, then that means that there's 50-50. So either there are more black women than black men or it's not. But again, you don't understand how numbers or statistics work because you're probably innumerate. So that's how you can make that statement, which you're already not making much sense. But again, this is why, like I said, a lot of times, a lot of these female dating coaches, and even in the world, men too, they talk with a lot of feelings to try to get people to buy what they have. And they're not talking about things that are factual. But let's continue.
By the time you remove the gay men, by the time you remove the mass incarceration that when you see
there's also gay women out there, but it's okay.
The populations of these prisons, and it is predominantly black men that are, these prisons are full of black men. Full. At an exponential rate.
How many black men are in prison? Do you have a number? Again, like, you don't have a number of how many black men are in prison. Do you know? No, of course you don't know, because you're just saying this because it sounds good and you want to sell a product because you have a dusty dating business in which you don't reinvest in. That's why you're in this car right now. Let's continue.
Compared to our percentage of society, we're only 11% of the population, but the prisons are full of black men. You take out the men who are already married. You take out the men who are on the down low, gay, pretending to be straight, but ain't never going to marry a woman. Or if they do, they're bearding, faking, fronting, whatever.
Why do they always talk about take out the down low or gay that are bearded? It's another way to make black men gay. You're talking about a statistic you can never prove. Because if the person is down low or bearded, you don't know how many of them are there. Do you? Some of them possibly are married or not married. We don't know. So why are you talking about take out that percentage? You don't know their percentage. You're just talking about something you can't prove. Again, that's what people like this do. They talk about things that you can't prove with numbers in order to sell a narrative.
Inside of the still group of eligible black men in the dating pool, you still now, under heterosexual black men who are not married and who are not gay and who are not in prison, are still going to be your gold tooth, pants sagging dudes who have 0 sense. That's still inside of that number. Black men have come at me when I say there's not enough eligible men, and they push back at me. But one of the things I've realized about good black men is that you don't realize that, first of all, there's not a gazillion more like you.
Okay, first of all, this whole idea of, black men, pants sagging, gold teeth wearing. If you ask most black men, they would say these are the men that these quote unquote successful sisters are passing them up to be with. They are the kings of Black America. They are the prototypes. They're the top of the food chain type of guys. That's what most black men will tell you. These are the guys that have the most success with black women. So how are they out of this process? Well, would black men say that this is what they desire? But again, okay, you guys don't want these because you want a guy that goes to church, he's a Christian, and then when we find out who you're dealing with on the side, it's some level of pookie. And a pastor can be a pookie, but it's okay. Let's continue.
I've noticed this even with my husband. There's a lack of awareness around what is eligible and the availability of black men. My husband thinks so many men are just like him, that there's just really a bunch of Carrie Popes running around that are solid, hard-working, intelligent, marriage material, mature, grown men who want to be responsible and want to build a family. And I'm like, Carrie Pope, no.
Yes, they are there. And you're going to prove that they are there in some of your next statements. Because these are the black men who black women don't realize or don't want. Because eligible to black women, which you've never clearly defined what that means, because you're talking about something that doesn't make sense. When you're talking, you said it in your first video here. Black women have, or you didn't say black women, but women in general in America have unrealistic expectations. What if this guy is short? What if this guy is overweight? What if this guy isn't charismatic? So does that mean he's not eligible? Sure, we can probably say that. Okay. But what happens is that when those builder qualities, because you even said yourself in the video, I've heard you say your husband wasn't your type also. You would have passed him up in your younger years because you like dating athletes and things like that. So your own husband wasn't your, your type until maybe, the wall came for you, right? Now, these men that Carrie Pope is talking about, your husband, and I've seen him online before. He's a different kind of guy. I don't have a problem with him or anything like that, but we have differences of opinion. He understands that these guys are good marriage material that you're just passing up on because you want something that's not really achievable as a group of ladies. Not everybody, but it's something that we can say. So then these guys go out and then they don't want to deal with black women. So you find them where? I'll tell you where you find them. They're not with African-American women. They go to Dominican women. They go to women in the diaspora, women from Africa, women in the Black Caribbean, places like that. And then when they do that, #passport bros, you say these guys are bums and stuff like that. So then they don't want to participate because you haven't seen the value in these guys. So then they go away. But that's fine. Let's get back to the lies.
So ladies, by the time you take out the rappers, the gold teeth, the sagging pants, the young ones who just ain't even ready for marriage, now you got a whole other demographic of black men who have sworn off black women. Whole movements created.
Why? Because you're about to swear off all the black men. So you're not going to you must be broke or something now because you really need to sell these dusty courses and all of this. Because your platform looks, I'm just going to say, when I look at your platform, it looks like you're struggling, right? So you got to be able to, try to live that fancy life that maybe you really can't maintain. And you say your husband's rich, so he might be, but, yeah, you got to tell them something to buy this stuff that doesn't make any sense, right? And this is a good sell because you're selling to an audience that, probably wants to be sold that Derek Jackson dream. So why do these black men feel that way? They just felt that way. They sworn them off because of what reason? No reason at all. You're not giving any clarity. You're not giving any context to why they may feel like that. But it's okay. We'll get back to the lies.
To completely giving up on black women.
Mm-hmm.
Completely.
Mm-hmm.
that black women are not marriage material and that black women are not wife material.
Okay, wait a minute. But you're about to say, listen to this though, guys. She's trying to build and make the case that you don't have a lot of eligible, marriageable black men. But at the same time, she's denying your experience that there are not a lot of eligible and marriageable black women. So we're coming from the same community. Black people, African Americans, black men and black women growing up in the same area. So these black men are not marriage material, but these women somehow are coming from the same dysfunctional environments that we affectionately call Black America. So how does that happen? How does one group of people marriageable, and they're saying that the guys are not marriageable, and I can agree that a lot of guys in Black America probably could not be marriageable. But then if the man says that they're not marriageable, then these men are wrong. So it don't matter what they're saying, but we can clearly make the case that these men have the issue. And you call yourself a woman of God? This is what you pray for? You're not even making much sense in this argument. Well, let's get back to the lies. It's okay.
Not all of black men, but there's a percentage of black men who feel that way. And all these daggone gender wars on social media, and all the men who are beefing in, they've been hurt by 2 black women in their life, and now they're writing off all black women. And black women don't do that.
They don't? Yeah, drink the sip of the Liarade. Because I got a clip that's going to prove what you're saying is wrong. Come on.
Black women been dogged by black men, drugged by black men, completely ran over and heartbroken by black men, but still don't give up on black men.
Here's a clip of a black woman giving up on black men. Play it.
Hey y'all, what it is. Okay, so I got this comment, or a few comments, not just one comment, it was a few comments that I got about, you need to stop focusing on race, white guys aren't all that, blah, 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 blah. Basically saying that me being divested is kind of stupid, essentially, because all men are bad and I need to stop focusing on race. Which I find kind of funny because black women who are not divested are the main ones focused on race. Because you know what they be saying? They be saying, I want a black king. I want chocolate babies. I only want a chocolate man, a dark-skinned chocolate man to have black babies with. I want a baby that looks like me. Most of y'all, most of the women who are not divested are super focused on race. Y'all want a unicorn black man in a suit to save you, okay? Let's just keep it real. Why is that me, who dates white guys and other non-black men, why is it weird that I kind of focus on race? Because my own trauma and my own knowledge of the fact that black men don't want us, okay? There's so much out there to show you that black men don't really want black women. If you go on TikTok, you know, these talking about how dark-skinned girls are ugly. They talk about how they want a white girl. It's everywhere. It's been like that for decades, y'all. Okay, not just on, TikTok hasn't been around for decades. It's been like this on YouTube. It was like this on MySpace, I remember back in the day. It's been like this a long time. I even posted a post yesterday of Samuel L. Jackson proposing to his black wife when he was high on some substances, okay? He didn't even know what he was doing. Black men don't love you, okay? The first bullies I ever had growing up were black boys. Black boys used to call me Doo-Doo Brown. They used to call me an African scratcher, which is so stupid because, just because I'm dark-skinned, okay, anyway, they would always make fun of me and call me crispy and all types of crazy things. And these were little boys. Okay, these were little kids, all right? They are all dusty from the time they are kids to the time they are grown. I am sorry. And why should I have to go back to that?
Yeah, that's a woman giving them do you need money that much for these courses you're trying to sell? Like, what's going on? You're supposed to be a Christian, right? Why are you blatantly lying right now? It's just lies everywhere. Just lies. Is it that bad? Like, I can send you some on Cash App if you need some money. Just tell the truth. God.
Black men, on the other hand.
Rebecca Lynn lying, not Pope. Pope is like a Christian thing. No, just.
On the other hand, whole demographic of black men just giving up on black women. There are Facebook groups of black men who are dedicated to hurting black men who want to blame black women for all their problems, as if a white woman or a Latino woman, somebody who don't want you, by the way, are going to deal with your shenanigans and craziness because they got even higher standards.
See, this is okay, Rebecca. I don't know how this guy that you're married to, again, I don't know the brother, but if this is what he got to deal with every day, I mean, more power to the brother, okay? Because what you're about to say is these other groups of women don't want these black men. Because they don't want you, right? So then how is it that these white men are going to want these black women who are coming from the same dysfunctional environment? Black people as a whole are picked less by other groups to date. But if we want to go by gender, it is very clear to see that black men are the second most desired men in America besides white men. That's almost clear. Now, black women, that's my first preference, but it's not the same thing. So you want to tell these black men who date out more and have a more successful interracial dating percentage that these other women don't want you when they have a more success rate doing that. But you're going to, at some point in the video, tell these black women that they need to go to these men because these men do want you, even though these other groups of women don't want us. So how is it the same? Like, look at this linear thinking here. You black men and black women come up with the same community, but the women can say the men ain't about nothing. They're not marriage material. I have no idea why these black men are saying these bad things about you black women. And then these other groups of women don't want you, but at the end of the video, we're going to tell you to go get a white man. Like, this desperation to make a sale is crazy. You're almost as bad as Andrew Tate.
Because their culture raises them to have higher standards than black women.
So do you think that these white guys are going to want to deal with single moms coming from the black community? And a lot of these ladies that are in your comments have children by black men. So since they have higher standards, are the white men going to take them with their black kids? Let's get back to the lies.
So you got to step up in order to even date a white or other woman, because their culture teaches them to marry into financial security for a man to be a provider and protector. It's in their culture.
It's also in their culture to want to marry women who are feminine and who also don't come to the table with children, which some of our women don't. Some do. So I guess their family is going to tell them, hey, Mr. White Man, we have higher standards, but go ahead on and take the lady from this community that has a kid by somebody else. But then tell the daughters to have a higher standard for the men? Let's get back to the lies.
So I'm in the gym the other morning.
Okay.
I'm on the treadmill. Black men working out all around. I look, I'm paying attention. A good third to half the black men I see in the gym are gay.
You also live in Atlanta, where a lot of people are gay. Like, a lot. Are bisexual. If I were to come to Atlanta, and I used to live in DC, guess what? A lot of women are gay. I can easily go into a restaurant and 30% of the women are gay. In Atlanta, in DC, in Chicago. But you know what? They're gay. What does that got to do with finding somebody who's not gay? Are you trying to say and make this build the case that all these guys are gay? A lot of them are gay, so you need to go and get a white man? Well, a lot of black women in Atlanta are gay. Philadelphia, they're gay. Does that stop me from the heterosexual ladies out there? No, because they're not gay. Why are you not worrying about who's not gay? People are going to be gay or bisexual or don't want to deal with black people. What is this about? People have always been gay, especially in those cities I just named. Let's get back to the lies.
Ladies, and that's not my imagination. Everywhere I look, it is gay black men. It doesn't matter why. We can talk about why. You can go into all the whys, ladies. It doesn't matter.
Because they're gay. Doesn't matter. They're just gay. It's okay. They're gay.
I'm on the phone with my therapist this week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying to her, I've never been more happy. I'm in such a great place. So much peace and balance, and Carrie pays 95% of the bills. I've never been in a place where I did not have the financial pressure.
By the way, you admitted you didn't like a man like Carrie Pope when you were younger. You chased athletes and men like that who then ended up leaving you broke and struggling. Then you ended up, when you were older, with a man that you even said you're not that attracted to yourself. So now he's doing very well. How many women have passed up on the opportunity for a guy like that because they just were not attracted to him? Okay, like yourself, but it's okay. Let's get back to the lies.
I am provided for and taken care of. I still work, but I'm not under the pressure I was previously.
Because you're making bad decisions.
And I said, Dr. Pam, that's my therapist. Dr. Pam, is this how white women feel? When a man is paying all the bills? I've never been here before. I'm just being honest with y'all.
Because of your bad decisions, you were not there before. You're too busy chasing after Pookies and Ray Rays, according to your own mouth. Let's get back to the lies.
I've been 50-50. I've done my part. I've done more than my part. Y'all have been in course with me. I've been honest. I've paid 90% of the bills. I've been paying all the bills at times in different marriages. I've been in all the different
marriages, just dusty. I mean, whose fault for that? For the dust. That's your fault. You lived in a dusty era. Like, you're a good looking lady, but you made a lot of bad choices. So this guy, is it with like husband number 3 or 4?
I've been in all the different situations. It's the first time in my life that a man is taking care of me. Thank you, Carrie Anthony Pope. But I said, this is the reality for a lot of other women. This is the reality for a lot of Latin women, a lot of white women. This is what it feels like to not have the financial burdens of a household on you. Right now, I'm at my best. I don't wake up stressed.
That's what happens when you get with a man that's a builder and a provider, and you're not dealing with those dusty Pookies and Ray Rays like you used to deal with back in the 90s and 2000s. Yeah. When you with a man that knows what he's doing, that's how it works. Okay. But yeah, you were too busy passing them up in your young age so that you can go ahead and deal with guys who couldn't read and write. Let's get back to the lies.
I'm able to lean into my feminine. I am cooking and healthy and watching, monitoring the things in the family, helping to take care of Carrie with his health and his food, and I'm ease and flow, and things are just so amazing. And I began to think, and my therapist said to me, she says, Rebecca, you are experiencing something that very few black women will ever experience.
due to their own choices for Pookies and Ray Rays, okay?
You are experiencing what very few black women will ever experience. This is from my therapist. My therapist is in her 50s. She's been a therapist for over 30 years. She is so experienced, so wisdom, knowledge, woman of God. She's amazing.
Woman of God, like you? Like a person who's here clearly lying. Woman of God. What God do you serve? Where does he live? 666 down under? Like.
And if you reverse engineer what she's saying, ladies, she's saying to you what I'm saying. If you are a black woman and you want to be married and you want to lean into your feminine and you want to be more provided for, not to say you don't work. You guys know how hard I work. My money's now going into investments.
You work hard? Not on your YouTube channel, you don't. It looks terrible. You work hard doing what? Coming up with things to like not tell the truth about like you're doing right now? Is that hard work? It seems like dusty work to me, but it's okay. Let's get back to the lies.
My money is able to go into savings. We're able to do so much more with my money.
Yeah, taking the money from these ladies who don't know what's going on and just using it to buy like bonds and stocks and more weaves and sandals, because obviously you can't afford to buy a camera, and your setup is still struggling. But it's okay.
If Carrie's paid 95% of the bills. But if you are a black woman right now, you watch this video on YouTube and you decide that I really do want to be married, Rebecca.
None of which is reinvesting into your YouTube business. So yeah, I don't know what it is about these lifestyle millionaire coaches who never spend money doing nothing. These are some of the worst business people on the planet. But let's get back to the lies.
It's a partnership. But if you are a black woman right now, you watch this video on YouTube and you decide that I really do want to be married, Rebecca. One, this is what I said the other night in class. Please pray and open your heart to ask God to help you go beyond dating black men.
Okay, I've heard enough of that. So again, here's a whole spiel, some scare tactics, some fear of missing out, all of which to get somebody on the board to help you date outside of the race. But now again, if you want to date people outside of the race, you need to typically give them a reason as to why they need to pick you and not somebody inside of their race. So if I'm an Asian man, and I can even say Indian, or I was a part of Asia, Chinese, why would I want to pick somebody outside of my race when there are qualified ladies in my race who understand the culture and the culture that many of us are coming from? It doesn't teach marriage. It doesn't teach a lot of family values, and that's black men and black women. And so we're already starting behind the 8 ball. So you're talking about a man that you're going to want that's going to be highly successful or doing very well. What is he going to do to say, you know what, my own community who understands me, let me go out and deal with you? Because you're acting like none of this is their fault. And clearly you felt that way before in your prior video. You've actually stopped giving them dating advice or matchmaking as a career, which you had a shitty camera in that video too. So you still didn't invest. But anyways, that's another story. The reality is you're making up all of these things about black men. And yes, they can be gay. Yes, we have Pookies and Ray Rays. But typically that doesn't really affect, in my honest opinion, women being married, because they get most women get approached by a lot of different guys, and women typically just make the wrong choice in the guy they're dealing with. Just like you did. You were married like what, 85 times? I don't know. How often were you married? Like 3 or 4? I'm just kidding. Instead of telling them that you need to change yourself and look at what your problems are, and then whatever man you want to deal with to get married to, that makes more sense. But now you're trying to make this as a demeaning black men thing, which I have a really big problem with, because now you're not telling the truth and you're just only saying this because you have some vitriol toward black men, because you need to go ahead and make some sales so you can get some more money from these people and not reinvest into your own, your own business, so you can continue looking like this on camera with like dusty quality and like, and like beers in the background that's passing your window or something like that. And again, these are lies. Okay. Always talking about black men are gay is not going to solve the problem that you can't find somebody, usually in any race. There are a lot of black women out there that are open to dating white men and still can't get anybody. And you want to come back and say black men are gay. A lot of people are gay, bisexual. All right. Some people even qualify for the term they will try anything sexual. All right. That's just anything. People are asexual. Okay. People are incels. What in the I got to do what we're talking about? Nothing. You're just trying to push this narrative because you're so angry at black men or mad at black men that you want to sell these courses to these ladies who they're going to fail listen to you because you have no idea what you're talking about. If you're going to go and open yourself to another race, you need to compete against these other groups of women that clearly desire them. Knowing black women for how I know them, they're not going to deal with guys who don't have anything going on outside the race for the most part. They're going to go to one to go to become the apex people. How are you going to do that against the white ladies, Hispanic ladies, all these other people? You got competition. So again, let's not just castigate black men all day and make up lies. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of Fair Use. See you guys next time. I'm out.